Did you catch this during John Cena's final match? Cena's last opponent in WWE was Gunther, who has never broken character. During that match, Gunther was on the top rope, and Cena was on the second. The two glanced at each other, which caused Gunther to break character and start laughing. This is just one of many moments that most WWE fans missed in 2025. Like, during the men's Royal Rumble match, did this moment look familiar? Roman Reigns eliminated Braun Breaker the exact same way that Batista eliminated Roman Reigns in the 2014 Royal Rumble. This could have just been a fun little reference, or perhaps it's foreshadowing Braun Breaker as the future face of WWE. Speaking of the Royal Rumble, during the women's match, fans were graced with the surprise appearance of Trish Stratus. Not only was Trish's gear a throwback to when she debuted, but she also struck a very similar pose. And speaking of throwbacks, Randy Orton's WrestleMania 41 attire was a clear reference to the gear he wore back when he debuted in 2002. Talking about the Viper, did you catch this?
I was so stupid. I was so stupid to come out here and think for 1 second.
That was a callback to Randy Orton's infamous match against Kofi Kingston, where Orton got legitimately upset and said,
Kingston jaw and face!
I'm gonna make a bet with you. Randy Orton will turn heel and become a bad guy in 2026. How do I know that? Well, after Cody Rhodes beat Orton to win the 2025 King of the Ring tournament, Cody was interviewed in the ring. Cody started the interview by showing Randy Orton some respect and giving the Viper his props.
I have to thank Randy Orton, the legend killer. Nothing but respect.
Notice Randy Orton's facial expression. Randy was showing jealousy here and is foreshadowing a heel turn on Cody Rhodes. And you know what? This isn't the first time WWE has done something like this. After winning the 2025 Elimination Chamber match, John Cena was joined by Cody Rhodes and The Rock. This led Cena to turn heel, aligning himself with The Rock and smacking Cody with Cody's own Rolex watch. However, that wasn't just any Rolex. At WrestleMania 40 in 2024, Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins fought The Rock and Roman Reigns in a tag team match. Backstage, Cody gifted Seth, Rock, and Roman Rolexes. Then, on the Raw after WrestleMania 40, The Rock confronted Cody Rhodes and gave him something. We didn't see what it was, but a tweet from The Rock later confirmed it was the Rolex. Then, almost a year later, Cena would use the same Rolex to turn heel. Since we're talking about John Cena, he took a real hard shot at AEW in 2025.
I make empires for billionaires.
All you've ever done is steal money from their kids.
Now, listen to this and see if you get the reference.
And John Cena, I cannot wait to share the ring with you in Paris. But I'm not signing a cohabitation agreement.
Congratulations if you got it, and if not, allow me to explain. In 2013, WWE launched a reality TV show called Total Divas. The show examined the real and personal lives of female WWE wrestlers, with Nikki Bella as a primary focus. At the time of filming, Nikki Bella was dating John Cena, and she was moving into Cena's house. John Cena then dropped this on Nikki.
I need you to sign something for me.
Like what?
The formal term for it is a cohabitation agreement.
John Cena was a heel long before he turned on Cody. Enjoyers of the series Botchamania are very familiar with the phrase,
I am the table!
well, I guess Wade Barrett is one of those enjoyers.
Well, Wade Backaby's back, which means, well, you know what it means, is on the table!
There's a tradition in wrestling to thank your opponent after a match, especially after a big win. For obvious reasons, wrestlers try to avoid fans seeing this, but if you look closely, you can sometimes catch a glimpse of it. After pinning Jey Uso on Raw, Braun Breaker was seen quietly thanking Jey for the victory. Likewise, after defeating Finn Balor, Damian Priest covered his face and thanked Finn. During the 2025 WWE Hall of Fame, an infamous moment was caught on camera when millions of fans saw former wrestler and WWE commentator Booker T sleeping during the ceremony. Shortly after that, Booker T would be called out.
Booker, the last time we were in here, you were asleep!
What are you talking about? I was praying.
Right there, your eyes were praying.
I was praying.
One of the most unintentionally iconic moments in WWE history is when referee Charles Robinson ran down to the ring at WrestleMania 24 to count the pin for Undertaker and Edge's match. Over 15 years later, WWE made a pretty funny callback. During John Cena and CM Punk's match at Night of Champions 2025, the referee got knocked out. Luckily, Charles Robinson was ready to make the save, but it didn't go as planned.
A century tell! John Cena
In June 2025, Carlito announced that his WWE contract would not be renewed and that he'd be leaving the company soon. To show his support, Dominic Mysterio wore a Carlito shirt on Raw the Monday after Carlito shared the news. As part of WWE and TNA's partnership, TNA wrestlers began wrestling on NXT in 2025. One of those TNA wrestlers was AJ Francis, formerly known as Top Dollar in WWE. During a tag team match, Francis did this. While this may have looked like a botch, it was actually a reference to one of the funniest moments in WWE history. In 2022, while wrestling on SmackDown, AJ Francis had an infamous botch when he tried to go over the top rope. It appears that Francis has learned from the past and decided not to try that again. Also, during the same match, Booker T made a reference to a wrestler who's banned from WWE.
You talking about with that boy AJ, right? You talking about that certified G and that bona fide stud. I've heard that somewhere before, but that's that man, AJ Francis, dog.
I don't think you need to jog your memory any further. Yeah, I don't think we need to recite it.
On Raw, Michael Cole was reliving one of his most embarrassing moments when he fought John Cena in a match. Notice though, I said one of and not the most embarrassing. There is one other moment buried deep in WWE lore, and Michael Cole filled us in.
Not quite as embarrassing as Heidenreich, but embarrassing enough.
If you don't know what Cole's referring to, back in 2004, there was a wrestler on the WWE roster named Heidenreich. During an episode of SmackDown, Heidenreich got Michael Cole backstage and did this.
Well, now that I've got you back here, all alone with me, I'm gonna give you what you want.
And people really want Vince McMahon to come back. Braun Breaker is Scott Steiner's nephew, so you knew it was only a matter of time before Braun paid tribute to his uncle's iconic math promo.
You know, they say all men are created equal.
They say that all men are created equal.
But you look at me and you look at Small Joe, and you can see that statement is not true.
But if you look at this fatal four-way match and the members that are in it, you will see that that statement is not true.
See, normally if you go one-on-one with another wrestler, you got a 50-50 chance of winning.
See, normally I'd have a 25% chance of winning.
But I'm a genetic freak, and I'm not normal.
But I'm a badass, and that statement is not true.
In October 2025, a battle royal was set up to determine who would face CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. Punk was out doing commentary, so LA Knight, one of the battle royal participants, decided to take a shot at the straight edge superstar. In the middle of the match, LA Knight went for a submission move. This particular move is called the Billy Goat's Curse, and is the finisher of Colt Cabana, who, in real life, was CM Punk's best friend, until the two had a very messy falling out. It makes you wonder if CM Punk got upset that LA Knight made this reference. Speaking of Punk though, this man is like the Deadpool of WWE. He's constantly making references. On the first Monday Night Raw of 2025, CM Punk wore a jacket that was a throwback to his early days before he debuted in WWE. Punk's opponent that night was 1/3 of the Shield, Seth Rollins, so it only made sense that Punk ended the match the same way he defeated Jon Moxley, aka Dean Ambrose, 3 years earlier in AEW. But that wasn't the only reference CM Punk made in 2025 about his former employer.
I'm hurt and I'm old and I'm tired and I work with children.
Because the more things change, the more things stay the same. I work with children.
But I'm better than you, and you know it.
Seth Rollins, CM Punk is better than you. And everybody knows it.
But you know what's stranger than CM Punk referencing AEW? Wrestlers referencing CM Punk in AEW.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
My personal favorite reference CM Punk made though has to be this.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and sign a contract. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
In 2004 at WrestleMania 20, Eddie Guerrero thought outside the box by untying his left boot and using the distraction to win the match and the WWE Championship. Over 20 years later, this same strategy would be used again. At SummerSlam 2025, Dominic Mysterio was defending the Intercontinental Championship against AJ Styles. During the match, Dominic secretly loosened his boot, which distracted AJ and allowed Dom to win and hold on to the gold. Maybe Dominic really is Eddie's son. Now, either WWE's graphic designer got a raise or a beating. During the 2025 men's and women's King of the Ring tournament, WWE had graphics made to promote the matches. However, whoever had the crown placed above their head won that match. Was this intentional, or did someone mess up? The award for blurring the lines between scripted and real in 2025 goes to Karrion Kross. Obviously, there was the WrestleMania recap show where Kross appeared to break character and go on a legit rant.
You have any advice for me? He goes, you know what? You just got to be a good soldier. A good soldier is what he said. So I decided to be a good soldier. You know what happened? They released me.
Then, during a match against AJ Styles, Kross is heard saying this.
AJ Styles has WrestleMania feud.
Sandbagging is when a wrestler intentionally acts as dead weight and doesn't cooperate with a move. Karrion Kross accused AJ of sandbagging him after the two were struggling to perform a fireman's carry slam. It's unclear whether this was real or if the two wrestlers planned to do it to get fans talking. Here's something else that you probably didn't notice about Karrion Kross. Depending on who Kross is feuding with, he'll change his hair so it matches the hair of his rival. I assume it's to get inside the mind of his opponent, and it's a cool attention to detail. Talking about attention to detail, I guarantee you didn't notice this. In February 2025, Kevin Owens attacked his friend Sami Zayn and injured Zayn's neck. In storyline, Sami's neck was hurt, and this would be revealed when Owens and Zayn fought at Elimination Chamber. Leading up to the match, however, Sami wouldn't turn his head. Instead, he would move his entire body. This was a subtle way of showing that Sami hurt a lot worse than he was letting on. On SmackDown in September 2025, John Cena and Sami Zayn had a United States Championship match. This was a throwback to Zayn and Cena's US title match back in 2015. However, this time, John Cena was the challenger and Sami was the champion. Unfortunately, the match was interrupted by Brock Lesnar, who hadn't been seen since he returned at SummerSlam a month earlier. This return was a surprise, unless you were paying close attention. Earlier in the night, before Sami Zayn and John Cena's match, Lesnar could be seen in the background of several backstage shots. It's just like Where's Waldo, except where's Brock? However, this isn't the only sneaky bit of foreshadowing WWE did. On Raw in May 2025, Grayson Waller could be seen in the background talking to Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, despite having no relationship with either one of them. Then, 2 months later, Grayson Waller joined Kingston and Woods as part of the New Day. Similarly, on the June 30th, 2025 episode of Raw, Chad Gable, who also portrayed the masked luchador El Grande Americano, announced he was out of action with a shoulder injury. However, El Grande returned later in the show, now with Ludwig Kaiser under the mask. This came as a surprise to most fans, but not to those who paid attention. The week before, Chad Gable was attacked backstage, but if you looked closely, you could see Ludwig Kaiser walking around in the background, hinting that he'd be the next El Grande Americano. Likewise, Finn Balor could be seen talking to Roxanne Perez backstage a couple of weeks before Perez joined Balor's group, Judgment Day. All this is good, but this next clip is easily my favorite. In April 2024, Liv Morgan attacked Rhea Ripley backstage. Unfortunately, Rhea accidentally got hurt for real, forcing her to be taken out of action and vacate the Women's Championship, which she had held for just over a year. Fast forward a year and a half to August 2025, and WWE is back at that same arena. During the show, Rhea Ripley is backstage, looking over the exact spot where she suffered that injury. What a fantastic bit of storytelling. Speaking of Rhea Ripley, she had her fair share of non-PG moments in 2025. To see that, and I know your dirty mind wants to, watch the video on screen.